time the system has not been working on our favor. So it's clear that the problem is in the system. So yes, it started as an internet movement, but from the first day it changed because Twitter was blocked by the government, Facebook was blocked by the government for 2 days, and finally on Thursday, this started on Tuesday the 25th, on Thursday after midnight, which is the 27th, internet was blocked completely from Egypt. And on Friday, that was called the Friday of Wrath, people organized themselves without the internet, and like the media, international media started paying attention to what's going on.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty inevitable that the people are going to have their way, but it's just a matter of time. And really, what is it going to take for Mubarak to realize he needs to leave, and for Suleiman to realize that they need to leave?
Predictions for tomorrow, you never really know what's going to happen, like when this is going down, but I hope to see the Egyptians all turn out like they promised to, and watch Mubarak leave.
And what do you think that the U.S. government's role should be in this?
The U.S. should just stay out and support democracy. We advocate and say that we're a beacon of democracy for the whole world. Now we need to actually stand up and show that. Bush went into Iraq to say that he's bringing democracy to the Middle East. We need to actually stand by and say, okay, there's democracy coming without us. We're going to stand by and let it happen.
I think, so there's two layers to the question. What he should be doing in the ideal world is nothing. It really isn't the business of the United States or any other foreign, especially Western government, given the history of colonialism in Egypt, to comment on or attempt to influence the governance structures that Egyptians decide for themselves. However, as a nation that believes supposedly in democracy, he could potentially play a tremendous role in supporting the pro-democracy movement. Unfortunately, his reaction and Hillary Clinton's reaction have both been disappointing. They have not been clear about their desire to see the actual will of the Egyptian people achieved. Instead, they have been hard.
I am hoping that the people will still keep pushing, but at the same time, obviously, everybody is scared that there's going to be bloodshed in the protests. A lot of people were talking about marching to the presidential palace and making the president step down by force, which will lead to clashes, and it's something that I really hope that it's going to be avoided, and it could have been much easier if the president would have stepped down earlier before getting the people to such a boiling point.
Contradictory, because when it comes to Iran, yes, we do really want Barack Obama and foreign governments to stay out of our business. We know what they've been capable of doing in the past. They had the 1953 coup against Dr. Mossadegh, so we know what they're capable of doing and the operations that took place. But as far as Egypt, I mean, we can't really say, well, United States has to, stay away, they should be neutral about this, because by the act of giving $1.5 billion in military aid to the Mubarak regime, they've already sort of made themselves complicit in all this. They're interwoven into the fate of the Egyptian people. So the U.S. can't stand aside on issues like this. Obama has to come out and support the people. I mean, orderly transition is just... Can I cuss on this, by the way? Okay, it's ridiculous. I mean, because what does the orderly transition mean? It essentially means enlarge the circle of the elite.
This is one of the things people who are against this rhetoric have been trying to tell people, no, a president doesn't equal a nation. A president is a leader. A president is responsible for the nation at some point, but then if he fails, he should step down and allow others to take over. The changes, for those who said it wasn't clear what they were requesting, they put a curtain on a 10-story building in the square where they wrote the demands of the Egyptian people. The first one was Mubarak needs to step down. The second one, it had turned into also Suleiman has to step down after he had announced that Egypt is not ready for democracy and that he will tell the parents of bullets on the square to go home. The second one is forming a new transitional coalition government. The third, dismissal of the parliament. Fourth, allow fair and just elections. Fifth, dismissal of the interiors minister, which has done because the whole cabinet was gone. The sixth is end of the emergency law. Seventh, punish all those responsible for the massacre that took place since the 20th of January. 8, apply minimum wages. This one had changed into chasing those who stole the nation's money and bring them into justice. Since January the 25th, here are...
The people asked for him to step down peacefully. Then they've been asking this for the same thing for the last 16 days. And every few days he just comes up with a compromise, which first thing he fired the cabinet, then the second thing he's not going to run again, and then now he's making his vice president effective. So I'm hoping that if they keep pushing without taking any major action, he's just going to eventually step down.
Movement is what's going to happen post-revolution or once these goals are achieved. So what do you expect to happen if Mubarak steps down? Is this emotional tide going to be able to be harnessed into an effective reform movement?
I use the word organized chaos. That sure, there's a lot of emotion, and it seems like to be going here and there in order to find a good way to have a better understanding of its own status. But at the same time, the organizational level is enabling these different movements to have a better understanding of what they want in place of Mubarak and the current regime in Egypt. And it seems like they're all clearly they want one thing: transparent government, which means really democracy. Even the Muslim Brotherhood, which in the U.S. media has described as this Islamist group that is going to take over and is going to make Egypt another Iran, has clearly stated that they also want to participate in a democratic system, institution. And bear in mind, there will be also other competing groups that will keep them in check in order for one single group not to take over.